Well, hello, and welcome to another lesson of the Focus on DatoCMS course. I am Marcelo Lewin, the Headless Creator. As always, get a hold of me right there, Marcelo at headlesscreator.com. Today, my guest presenter is Matteo Ciccone. He's a support engineer at DatoCMS, and he's going to show us how to work with SEO content fields that are related to SEO. We're going to go through content modeling. It's going to be a pretty cool lesson. Now, I'm not going to tell you any more about him because I'm actually going to bring him in.
Hello, nice to be here. Thanks.
So, 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, how is my Italian pronunciation? Be honest.
8.
Oh, okay.
Very good, very good.
Thank you. It must be my Latin background. You know, I'm from South America. In Argentina, there's a lot of Italians,
Yes,
right?
oh yes.
And Argentinians have Italians and Germans and all that kind of stuff mixed in. So, anyway, I'm glad to have you here. Thank you so much for joining. Real quick, give us a little background about yourself. Are you a developer? I know you're a support engineer, but do you do development? And how did you get into this?
Yes, I'm a software engineer by training, and then I did software development for a few years, and then I joined DatoCMS, and since it's a very small company, I'm doing a bit of everything. And I'm the one mostly dealing with customers, doing support, tech support, and so that's how I ended doing this.
How did you get connected with DataCMS?
Well, Stefano, the founder of DatoCMS, is a longtime friend. We know each other since probably more than 15 years now. So
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
we
And
did university together.
I see. That makes sense. So you said you're into development. Like, what kind of, are you front end, back end, full stack?
Yeah, I did a bit of full stack. Mm-hmm.
What technologies were you focused on?
Ruby on Rails and JavaScript,
Oh,
React.
okay.
Yeah.
Got it. But right now you probably are doing all sorts of stuff. Next.js,
Yes,
Gatsby,
I'm
probably.
jumping in existing projects, mostly customer projects I need to have a look at, or custom script integrations, this kind of stuff.
If developers are looking to get into a framework, do you recommend one over another, or what's your opinion? What's your thought?
Yeah, we are very much into Next.js ourselves.
Next.js.
Yes, we are very involved also with the Vercel team. We are doing stuff together. Now Gatsby is coming up with a new version 4,
Yeah,
which
version
might be
4.
interesting. I still don't know the details, but
I think they announced like server-side rendering, right? In that, yeah. And
they are
Next.js does that.
yeah, they're blending a lot of the differences now. So I don't know. I mean, we need to see the product and see which
Yeah.
one is better.
Do you think there's going to come a point where there's not going to be really much differences between all the frameworks?
Yes, right now they are all getting very similar. Like
Yeah.
they are acquiring each other's ideas that are working fine, and I think we are reaching a point of maturity of the project. So in the end, probably one will choose because of the community, the plugins, or just preference. Like documentation,
Maybe
Gatsby is
opinionated,
very
like how opinionated one is over another one, right?
yeah, sure.
Yeah. I believe Next.js is less opinionated than Gatsby. Is that correct?
Yeah, probably. And also Gatsby is much more newcomers friendly. They have a very good documentation. So Next.js is catching up, but still,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I used to do PHP. I think that's gone, right?
And I don't know. I mean, I've done a lot of PHP myself as well.
There's still a lot of WordPress developers out there,
Oh
right?
yeah. WordPress
Yeah.
is still growing like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
so,
Right. Definitely.
yeah.
Well, cool. I know we're going to get started real soon, but I like to end all my conversations with something personal. I'm a big movie fan, so everybody knows that. I'd love to know do you have a favorite movie, favorite show, maybe?
Yeah, I like. I'm not a geek movie fan, but I like the James Bond series
Oh,
and
of course.
also some action movies, other action movies. But yeah, also sci-fi, of course, Matrix, Star Wars,
Right. Oh,
classics.
well,
Classic
Matrix,
films.
Matrix is coming out, the new one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we'll
Just
see.
exciting.
Hopefully that's good.
Yeah, exactly.
All I can remember is Matrix 1. I can't remember, was it was 2 and was there, I don't remember if there was a third one, but there was
Yeah,
definitely,
yeah. There was a third one.
I
If
don't
you,
remember watching the third one. I remember the first one. That blew my mind when I saw it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. The third one is good. Second, average. Let's see the fourth.
Yeah. Well, he made up with John Wick series, so. All right, Mateo. So I'm going to go ahead and share your screen here. And if you any of you have any questions for Mateo, just type them in the chat box.
Yeah.
I will ask Mateo. Mateo, if I have questions, I'll jump in. But otherwise, it's all yours.
Cool, great. Yeah, I'm very open to questions, so feel free to interrupt, and there's no problem at all. So what I'm gonna show today is how to generate this example blog. So the main focus, of course, is around SEO meta tags, so the ones that we have printed in here. But the idea is to create like a sample blog post. So this is an example that you can also find yourself in our React DatoCMS package. There are more examples, but I'm gonna show you the SEO example here, just with a slight difference that we can share later. So I'm gonna jump into DatoCMS right now, just doing a very quick overview while showing you the example. So this area here of the settings is where you can create your schema. Everything is custom, and for the example here, I've built a blog model where we have some generic SEO meta tags. This is a standard field of DatoCMS, and then we'll show this later. And then each blog post has its own fields. So we have, of course, a title, a slug field, which is again a standard field for slugs, and then some standard excerpt, cover image, a link to an author model. It's over here, and then the main content, and again the SEO meta tags. So this is how the modeling looks like for the beginning. And then if we jump to the content side, this is how it looks. So in the left sidebar here, we have links to all the models. We have the blog, the main blog page, and then links to the authors and blog posts. So I can just show you. So the blog has mainly the SEO field, where we can set title, description, custom image, etc. And then the blog post itself has all the content, and again the SEO field that we can customize. Then each project by default gets these global settings, and these global settings are mostly SEO related. Actually, only SEO related. We have the FOD icon you can set, and also some fallback or global SEO settings. So there's the site name, the fallback title if not specified, and then the title suffix that each page gets, and then fallback description and main OG image. So this is the main overview. And so if you get this blog post and all this content here in the CMS, how do you get this content out is through the GraphQL API that we offer. And here we have an API explorer that you can use to browse your content and explore the schema. So for example, here you can get all the blog posts, and then by default each model has this underscore SEO meta tags attribute, which is slightly different from what you get from directly from the SEO field. So there's also the SEO field, which is the content that you get inside the field. But by default, we add this SEO meta tags attribute, which has all the content that you define in the specific record, plus the default fallback and additions.
Quick question on that. So the SEO meta tags have the same content as the other SEO that you were showing, plus the extra.
Yes. It's not exactly the same, because we tried doing something a little smart. So, for example, let me put first the content of the field. So, for example, the SEO field of the record is empty, as I showed before. Let me just show it again. The SEO field here is empty because I didn't fill anything to begin with, and so the SEO field is empty, but the SEO meta tags, the default attribute that we add, is full of content. So we have the title, which is the default title, and so we tried being smart and then providing the title is the first single line string that we get in the page, and then we attach the default suffix. And also about the image, we get the first image that we find in the record.
Oh, so that one is a bit more automatic in the sense that it'll pick up based on the entry of where it's being used. It'll attach. Now, is there control over that where if you don't want that to happen, so if you don't want to append to the title, let's say the name of the entry, can you do that?
Yeah. So, for example, we have all the alternatives. So if you want, you can fill in the SEO.
Oh, the SEO. Got it.
The SEO field, and so you customize, or by default we try to help and automate as much as possible.
So the SEO field gives you what you put in SEO. The SEO meta tags gives you what you put in SEO plus some automation to say, hey, this is a little bit smarter. This will help your SEO better.
Exactly.
Okay, very cool. Okay,
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So by default, all the records that you create have some SEO content that you can share. So by default, you don't get the empty meta tags or missing meta tags. And this is normally very helpful, because especially if you start maybe by importing a lot of content, say from an existing project, we try being smart and doing as much as possible for you.
And for the title in the SEO meta tags, for the title, is it getting it from the entry field, the main? Yeah. So you can designate a different entry field and it'll get it from there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me show you. If you go back in the modeling, in each model you can specify which field is the title.
Right.
So now I just have one single line string, but if you have more single line strings, you can pick which one is
different, and it'll get it from there.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
So but we try setting all the defaults that make sense. So the first single line string tends to be the title, so we pick from there. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Cool. So yeah. Maybe I can show now the once you get the content out from the GraphQL API, I can show a little bit of code. So here is a query that we run in the project to get all the content. So from the single blog page, we get the default SEO meta tags. We'll see this later, so ignore that. And also we get the default fav icon from the underscore site, which is the default way to get the site-wide settings. And so from this one, what we do is quite simple. We do get the SEO object, and then we concatenate the 5 icon, the extra SEO, we'll see it later. And then this meta tags object is simply passed to the render meta tags function that is defined in our React component. So the React component has this render meta tags helper, to which you just pass the object like this, and it renders what we saw before. So all the title, meta tags, etc. It's all printed nicely for you, so you don't need to do anything else. It's quite simple to use. And so we have two methods here. One is for rendering the actual tags, and then what we are seeing is that this other function, render meta tags to string, so you can also print it and use it wherever you want.
With that component, are you able to limit if you don't want all of those meta tags rendered, or is the component that's pretty much displays everything?
Yeah, it displays everything. You should, if you don't want to show something, you should filter it in the code.
Filter through a query, yeah.
Yeah, somehow. What I've done extra is adding some extra SEO fields, and so I can show you how you can customize. And maybe if you are missing some meta tags, or you want to add something in the head of your page, you can customize it and maybe override existing stuff, or since you manage the front end, you can do whatever you want there.
Right, makes sense.
So yeah, maybe I can show how to expand the concept with some other DatoCMS features. So we have a concept called blocks, and so the blocks are similar to the models, so the content types. The difference is that the blocks are reusable. It's a reusable set of fields. So while the model can only be one, the blocks can be reused in multiple models. So it's normally used to map a block with a front-end design component. So each time someone uses a block, you render a specific component. So the typical example is the image block that I have also used in my blog post. I'll show you. Well, I can use it here. So this is a structured text field where you can write your content, and then you can add an image block like so. So for example, we pull the block here, and you can customize all the blocks, have all sorts of different blocks. And one other usage is to have the blocks inside what we call modular content. The modular content is simply a set of blocks, and so you can, for example, in here, what I've done is add an extra SEO modular content in which you can pick only blocks of type extra SEO. So in that block, I've defined the same tag content and attributes that we get normally from the SEO meta tags, and plus I've added a title just to make clear what's inside. And then I've used this block inside the extra SEO modular content in the blog, and it looks like this. So if you go back in the blog, there's this extra SEO modular content, and you can add more blocks. In here, I just have one block type, but you can have multiple block types and then pick the one you want. but this is how it looks. And for example, here I've added this is just a title, just to display when it's collapsed. Is displaying here, so it's a bit clearer what's inside if you have a lot of them. But I'm just following how the SEO meta tags work. So I've defined the tag name, in this case the content is empty, and then I've defined all the attributes as a JSON object.
Quick question for you here, because here you created it as a block, which means that it doesn't hold the content that's reusable. But in this case, for example, robots may be reusable because you may want that in multiple places, let's say. Could we, instead of having a block, have a reference field to a content type? So then you create this and then it could be reused over and over without having to enter this, 1,000 times.
Yes, that's a very good point. So I've used the block typically because this was a one-off page. It's not a blog post. So I said, okay, blocks are fine. And otherwise, yeah, you can use links. So you should have, instead of having a block, this extra SEO block should have been a model. And then you can have entries in this model, and if you can add links to the entries. But on the API Explorer, on the GraphQL API, it looks exactly the same.
Right.
So the output is the same if you use the block or if you use the links. The query is slightly different, but the output is exactly the same. So they are interchangeable. If you want to start with one and then migrate to the other, it's not immediate, the migration, but it can be done with a script, and then the output is the same.
I think the big difference for people to understand and to clarify is that if you use it as a block and you have 1,000 entries and you want to change robots to follow now, you have to do that in 1,000 entries.
Exactly.
If you use it as a content type or a content model, as you call it, you just go to that one entry, update that, and all the 1,000 entries that are using that automatically get that. So you just want to think about the strategy behind, do you want a block or do you want a content type? And usually the question is, are you going to have content that you reuse?
Yeah. On the other hand, if the content is different for each record,
then a block.
Then if you use the links, you would have a lot of records that you need to maintain. So so for SEO, seemed more appropriate the block, because normally the SEO content is different for each record. So I thought the block would make more sense, but it can be also a mixture. I mean, you can have like the robots that makes sense for all of them as a link, and then another modular content for the custom part. And on the Explorer, so let's have a look on the API Explorer, just to show a little bit how it looks here. It's better, it's easier to see. So we have, this is the default SEO meta tags, and then we have the extra SEO that has the attributes, content, and tag, exactly as it's the default, relative. And so here we show the format is the same. And so what I've done in the code is just, let's have a look at the query first. In the query, you get the SEO meta tags, and then we're fetching the extra SEO modular block. And I'm replicating the same structure of the SEO meta tags for convenience. And so here we just concatenate the extra SEO content to the rest. I just did a small elaboration before, because otherwise it wasn't compatible with our function. But here you can do all the filtering, you can do all your automated stuff if you want, but otherwise it's just a concatenation, and the output is here. So we have the meta robots. So maybe I can, yeah, just add another one to show. We can. This is just a meta tag with content instead. It should be different from. Okay, of course. I didn't try this before.
Of course, Murphy's Law with presentations. That's how it works.
Okay. No worries. Yeah, but the idea is, again, you can add more of these. I mean, just duplicate this, it will work for sure. So just show that you have two of them, how it should look like. Okay.
There you go.
That's it. So yeah, as a quick recap, we wanted to have create a blog where just a simple page where you could have some custom SEO meta tags. And so we started from modeling the blog holder, the main blog page, with the standard SEO field, and then we saw how to populate the content, and then we added this extra SEO custom fields that you can customize, and seeing how to use the React DatoCMS components. And also from here, from the main GitHub repository, you can pull the example, the main example, and you can replicate what I've done. And otherwise, in here in the gist that I've showed you, that there's also the little customization with the modular blocks.
And we'll have it in the bonus material too.
Yeah. And then, yeah, if you need any additional help, or if you have any questions, you can reach me out at support@datocms.com. So I'm happy to jump in another call with you if you want to have a look at this example again.
So real quick, let's go back to the content model, and sure. I wanted to propose a change here and see what your thoughts are, since you deal with this every day. Here you have a blog that has an SEO and extra SEO. So you have two fields. The field is of type SEO, your default field, right? Mm-hmm. And then extra SEO is what you showed that block. What are your thoughts of creating a block called SEO that has a field of type your SEO? And in there, you have multiple extra fields. So in other words, when you go to the blog, instead of adding these two fields, you're adding that new block you created that has the default SEO fields and then all your extra fields. So you just add one as opposed to adding multiple, and you can customize it. So if marketing says, hey, can we add these extra fields? You just go to the blog, add those two fields, and wherever you're using that block, now you have all the extra fields automatically.
Yeah, the only issue right now is that to have your approach, you would need to have a modular content, so this extra SEO field inside the block, which is something that we don't have right now. So we cannot have a block inside a block yet, but it's something we are working on. Very hard. It's actually
right. I think you announced it yesterday. Yeah, that you will have nested blocks. But in my example, what I was saying is, for example, if you create a block, you would add all the fields in that extra SEO in that block, so you wouldn't add another block.
Yeah, but then you would have just one extra SEO field, right? I mean, we can try. You just duplicate and.
And then can you in here add the SEO default field?
Yes.
Right. So I mean, both approaches are will give you the same results.
Yeah.
The idea here is that you just have one SEO object that you don't have to worry about. That's it. You just add this SEO object, and it gives you everything
Yeah. If you had the nested modular blocks, you could have these
as a
the
block.
extra SEO as a block, so you could have multiple ones.
Right. Right.
That would
Right.
be the best solution in my opinion.
Yeah. So
Which
you
is
can
something.
have specialized blocks in there.
Yeah, and something that is probably going to come out in the next month or two.
Well,
So
it'll be on the Focus on DatoCMS, I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah, it's a good idea. That's a good idea.
All right, sounds good. Matteo, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. That was a great overview. If people want to get a hold of you, I know you have a presenters page on headlesscreator.com. They can go there, all your
Mhm.
links. But do you Twitter best?
Yeah, we tweet from DatoCMS, very easy. Or otherwise, you can reach me at support@datacms.com. So I'm the main support person. So normally I will get back to you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Remember, there are many more lessons coming soon on the Focus on DatoCMS course. So make sure you get your free account at headlesscreator.com and you'll receive updates when they air. And like always, get a hold of me right there, Marcelo at headlesscreator.com. So until the next lesson, see you, everybody.